Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Betrayal at Krondor. We are continuing along the road, heading to Sylvan, and then Sloop and Romney. And looking for some kingdom armor. We need 6 suits of it. I think we'll just try to, fight some things. Am I on scouting and stealth for everyone? I am. Good. They were not alone. Owen's pulse quickened as he saw the lone figure approach, but when it became apparent they were not being attacked, he relaxed a bit, squinted slightly in an attempt to see who was about to join them. A book.
Excuse me, sirs. I will detain you only a few moments. Can you show me the way to Lytton? I am told there is someone there who requires my services to pick a Weber lock. The letter I received from there sounded most urgent.
Impossible. A Weber lock cannot be picked.
Perhaps not by you, but one skilled in the arts of subtlety. He may know how to penetrate even the most difficult of locks. It is a matter of patience.
I don't care how patient you are. A Weber lock cannot be picked. You're making idle boasts.
And what would a book gain telling strangers a fact that was not true, eh? I merely say these things so I may advertise my services, and you might make use of them one day. I state simple fact. There is no lock in this kingdom of yours that a book cannot pick. None.
Is that so? Perhaps you could teach us how to pick Weber locks.
It would take more time than I think you would care to spend. I spent 5 years at the foot of my master Califad, in the shadow of Mount Ashunta learning the art. But I could perhaps improve whatever skill you may already possess. A small fee of 70 gold sovereigns should pay for my time.
70 gold pieces for a lesson in lockpicking, that's nothing short of robbery.
You are wise. I should not cheat myself in this fashion. 80 sovereigns, but I cannot raise my price any higher, despite the great deference you show to my person. Is the arrangement to be sealed?
Nope. There are many things I enjoy in life, but wasting hard-earned money is not one of them. Any man that claims to be able to pick a Weber lock is undoubtedly a fraud.
Perhaps you are right. I shall consider these things while I unlock one in Lytton. If you should change your mind and we should meet again, however, I would be willing to teach you the things that are impossible for me to know. Travel well.
That we will. Good day. Okay. Most of the time when I'm looking at the map, I'm just seeing that there is something there and not actually looking at what it is. So, it's a good thing that I just saved, because I do want to increase my lockpicking. And we're going to do that by making sure lockpick is marked. And for good measure, I'm going to take off one of those amulets of the upright man and hand that over to Owen. Okay. There are some locks like this that in the early modern period where it took like 5 years for someone to figure out how to pick them. And in the cases where they did end up picking them, sometimes it took them like 36 to 48 hours in total doing so. Alright, Keshian, 80 sovereigns, but I am warning you. I doubt there's anything you can teach me.
You must open yourself to new things. This is the first learning. Without this opening, you will not be complete. Opening yourself is like opening a lock. If you cannot open, then the lock may not open. You should understand that there is no difference between yourself and the lock that you pick. All these things I will demonstrate with a test lock that I carry with me. Now I want you to observe.
Keshian double talk. Wait a minute, how did you do that? I couldn't see. Do that again.
That is it. You have received your first lesson, Dark Eyes.
That was too fast. I couldn't catch what you were doing.
In time you shall realize what was done. In your mind, the events will unlock, and thus your hands will unlock as well. I must go now. Goodbye.
Wait! The party's lockpick ability has increased. So, up to 91 now without that. 39, but he does have the thing, and 34 for Gorath. I think it ended up being 7.5%. I believe marking just one thing increases it by 50%. When two things are marked, it increases it by 12.5. Which is why the more things that you mark, the worse it gets overall. However, having 2 puts us at 100% lockpick, and I am perfectly fine with that. I do not need to raise it anymore. That was worth the money. Hello, house. James pushed open the wooden door. No one has lived here in some time, he said, looking around the empty room. And nothing in the room, apparently. That is sad and disappointing. Alright. Hey, for once there's actually a path connecting 2 roads that diverge really far away. Let's just head south. Let's go head down into this corner. See what we got down here. More chests. Okay, we've got... okay. He got it in the woods and brought it home in his hand because he couldn't find it. The more he looked for it, the more he felt it. When he finally found it, he threw it away. Shite. Alright, he got it in the woods and brought it home in his hand because he couldn't find it. The more he looked for it, the more he felt it. Like, I would think that homesickness would be... could be a thing. That's not slate. I am not sure. Alright, let me just look it up. Ah, okay. Thorn. Yeah, I don't think I would have gotten this one. Not without just plugging away at that until I happened to stumble on a situation that was almost right. Alright, 45 coins. We got a peasant's key. We've got a virtue key. And we've got a note. Given to Isunatus of Kaval Keep, the quantity of 500 rubies and 200 gold sovereigns, totaling value in not excess of 20,200 sovereigns. Interesting. Alright, see what this chest holds. Brito. Death to our enemies, and no living adversary shall escape. The new king of these isles. He will lead us to glory and provide new lands for our people. Alright, well that's almost certainly Delicon. If I can remember how to spell his name. Yep, there we go. Oh, 56 gold. And some lockpicks. Okay, and finally, a roulette. Today he is there to trip you up, and he will torture you tomorrow. Yet he is also there to ease the pain when you are lost in grief and sorrow. Depression? No. Roulette, roulette. Tragedy? No. Toilet? I don't think that one works. Alright. Just to speed things along. Ah, okay. Probably would not have gotten this one either. Alcohol. Alright, another Peasant's Key and Dragonstone. Let's give it to you so that we've got even spacing. Okay, some more chests have been opened by us. Let's go ahead and camp here. There we go. The rogue hadn't noticed him. It's anybody's guess whether he's out to kill us or is just taking a stroll somewhere. There does appear to be a chest there. They agreed to attack. Going over the plan as quickly as possible, James laid out a simple strategy. We're set then, he said. Let's just hope our advance is undetected and our advantage will be lost. The men charged them. Withdrawing strange packs from their tunics, they pelted Gorath and Owen with globs of material that smelled terribly. Confused at first, Gorath examined the material, then realized what was happening. It's a Quekian battle tactic, James shouted. They're throwing disease-infected mulch. We've got to take them down. Ew. Yuck. Plagued, 75%. Oh, goody. Oh, goody. Just what I wanted. And everyone is plagued. Well, I mean, if that's how you're going to play things... Oh. Oh, come on. Dink. Alright, now they're too close, so let's get into melee. Get dead. Well, that's unfortunate. Alright, get you onto melee. And crush you. Let's go ahead and crush you. Owen, go ahead and defend. Nice. And down he goes. James blinked. For a long moment, he stared at his dead opponent, pulse pounding in his veins as he waited for yet another to come on, teeth bared or blade flashing. But instinctively, he knew they had won this fight. They were safe for the moment. You know, except also plagued. No one wished to speak about it. Seeing the glazed looks in each other's eyes and sickly pallor each had begun to exhibit, it was more than obvious they had fallen prey to a virulent plague. Silently, James hoped they would reach a temple soon before they all died of it. Thanks, guys. Alright, there should be another one around here. Another body. There are also some chests, which is nice. Well, regular rations. 19 coins. And let's go ahead and bookmark and see what's in this chest. Crawler, the seals are perfect. We should have no trouble getting into Romney with these. Too much activity to store them here, though. Moved the whole lot to a barn outside Lytton. Paid a gold grubbing farmer to watch over them. Delton. Okay, good to know. Alright, let me get on to Armorcraft. Go ahead and repair these. Because they need to be in good condition. I don't know how good they need to be, but it's certainly fine. Let's give you 3. I'll give you 3. Alright, well, I can probably sell the armor pretty quick. No Armorcraft. Your accuracy melee did go up, which is very nice. Can't believe he missed with that really good cast. Alright, what do we have here? It appears to be locked. James pondered the lock. I don't know that I've seen a lock like this before, he said. There's always an off chance that we could pick it. There we go. The lock was simple. There is some more armor. And some aventurine. Alright, so that makes 4 suits of armor. Alright, so you can hold one more. We're definitely going to need to sell some things or stash some things before we can get any more, but that shouldn't be an issue. Nope, no Armorcraft. Alright. Appears to be a scarecrow here. It was coming apart. Judging from the hay which spilled from the figure's shirt, the scarecrow had been assembled in a hurry by a desperate farmer. Okay, it won't budge. Well, we are almost at Sylvan. James smelled fish. Looks like this road will take us into the town of Sylvan. Think we should go in for supplies? Yes. Down we go. That was an odd square there. Alright, we're going to enter that ship. There's a tavern. There is a shop. Let's see what this is. James tried the lock. He moved closer to examine the brass-plated lock, but a group of sailors wandering by made him wary. No sense risking a night in the lockup over this. Let's leave, he sighed. Actually, let's see. Soaked for ages in the rank perfume of fish scales and sea salt, the wharves of Sylvan seemed more likely a home for a race of fishmen than the leather-skinned sailors who trod its wooden planked docks. Traditionally the home of the less reputable, it was known for its shady transactions with the slavers of Greater Cash. Let's visit the shop. Does not appear to be a shop that I'm going to be able to sell swords in. Owen surveyed the shop. Though he could see no perceptible evidence of the shop's owner the shop's owner had placed any special wards around his inventory, he was dimly aware of something unnatural about the doorway through which they had passed. In the pit of his stomach, he knew that thieves would find themselves the victim of some magical unpleasantness. Alright, so we can actually buy Silverthorn here. Redweed Brew, True Sight Tea, Restoratives. You can see the big price difference on those. Dragon's Breath, we have that. Flamecast. Oh, there was also a spell that I went back and got. I completely forgot. There was one spell that we ended up not buying at Sarth, so I did end up getting that. There's Skyfire. Oh my. Hocho's Haven, we have that. Eyes of Ishap, we have that. Nightfingers, I believe it was Nightfingers is the one that I got. And Nakra Kikatrix, I think. Skin of the Dragon. Stardusk. Don't know if I have that one. That is about it. Do we have anything that we want to sell? No, he was not going to buy that. Could sell that. It's not going to help me with my inventory issue. We'll just leave stuff in the chest outside of town then, I think. Okay. Let's go to the tavern. Conversation within the room halted briefly as James pushed his way inside the room, returning a nod from a rough-looking pair of mercenaries who otherwise seemed engaged in a dispute over a lost bet. There seem to be a lot of mercenaries who seem engaged in a dispute over a lost bet. Hey, Nia, what are you doing here? So we can talk to you guys, we can talk to you. Barmaid. Spoiled rations. Ale and Keshian ale. Hello. The man scarcely acknowledged them. You look a sorry dog, James commented, noting the long look on the man's face. What troubles you?
Today I drink up the last winnings I ever made in Lance's tourneys, he said, watching the swirling contents of his cup. From this day forth I have to earn an unsullied day's living.
James arched a brow. I wouldn't call being a lancer a sullied profession.
No, the man replied with a pained smile. Not ordinarily, but I'm beginning to advance in years, and my strength is not all it used to be. At the last Lance's tourney, I bought a vial of Fatimore's formula. Unfortunately, before the last joust of the day, I was discovered drinking it. My lord rescinded my bond, and the master of ceremonies forbid me ever attending another tourney, so I may never again seek another noble employer.
Reaching into his belt, he pulled out a small vial and slapped it into James' palm.
All yours. I'll be happy not to see another drop of it in all my life.
James squinted. Why give this to us?
Not specifically giving it to you, the man said. You were just at hand when I decided to give it up. But to give you an understanding why I'm giving it up, perhaps I should show you something.
Pulling up the hem of his tunic, he indicated a puckered scar which marred the flesh above his navel.
Several of the knights I defeated in the tourney gathered together, and among them decided I should be taught a lesson. A hot iron shoved into your guts can be a very convincing teacher.
Oh my. Hello. James motioned to the barkeep. The man looked up from the goblets he was washing and smiled in their direction, obviously happy to have more customers. But his welcome expression changed to a mixture of fear and outrage, and he began to scream at them in a language James didn't understand.
Ruthia Dibiabas! Contagion! The contagion!
Please, my companions and I are ill and in need of help. Where might we find someone who knows how to heal us?
None may heal you. The dancer through men's hearts has marked you for her dance, and none may save you. Go now, please, before you infect me.
If a goddess has marked us, then only a goddess may be able to save us. What temples may be close by? Who is the local patron goddess?
My men will be here soon. You will regret waiting.
Tell me where the nearest temple is, or I will come over there, pin you to the floor, and my companions and I will take turns spitting down your throat. Ooh, snicker snag on him! Until you crawl with this disease. Where is the temple?
The Mist Devil is anchored in the harbor, and it sometimes will take passengers to the Temple of Iortis on Temple Isle. The man on board will ask you for 10 gold pieces. I hope the boat crashes and takes the 3 of you to your deaths. Now be gone!
None too soon. Expect another visit from us, barkeep. No, snicker snag on him! A tattooed dwarf stared at them. Smiling, he revealed a mouthful of teeth which had been filed into sharp-like points, and his black eyes seemed just as deadly. Sakai and Kansi, he said, speaking with a thick Keshian lilt. He motioned to a temple that was nearby. Please, gentlemen, the game awaits you. Not feeling like beginning an argument with the strange Shashakan cannibal, James allowed himself to be escorted to a table where a deck of poker cards was stacked. I mean, the upside is that he'll only eat dwarves if he's a cannibal. The man was a gambler, withdrawing a deck of cards thicker than those used for Linlan or Pashua. He slapped it down on the table, withdrew a strange-looking card, and flipped it over. A woman was drawn on the face of the card.
Call the Blue Lady, the man said with a drawl. The game is poker, the latest thing played by the Keshian dog soldiers. Have you heard of it?
James nodded. I've even had occasion to play it with mercenaries passing through the local tavern. Although the gambler seemed disappointed, he continued.
Uneven bet. I'll pay you half of what you bet since you already know how to play. What will you put up?
Nothing. James shook his head. You've had quite a good run of luck by the look of you, he said. Well, alas, we have not been so fortunate. Perhaps someone else will play with you. No, we can always bard. Being plagued doesn't seem to matter, and now the tavern keeper has really changed its tune. There's 57 more sovereigns. Alright, we'll go ahead and leave. Let's go to the boat. James shouted at the ship. Appearing at the railing of the ship, a golden-haired man waved down to them, advising them to stand clear of the net that was coming over the side.
What ship is this? James shouted. The Mist Devil this is, the sailor replied proudly, pounding the railing with a fist. Only ship fast enough to have slipped away from Captain Trenchard. We are ready to sail for the Isle of Iortis at the moment.
James considered for a moment. How much for passage to the Isle?
30 golden sovereigns, the sailor called down. Are you interested in making the trip? If so, come on up the gangplank.
They boarded the ship. Within minutes of weighing anchor, the Mist Devil sped across a narrow channel which separated the Isle of Iortis from the mainland. After an eternity of the distant horizon seeming to grow no closer, they eventually docked, with the help of a river pilot. Temple of Iortis. Mysterious as the terns and plovers who made their homes in the stony cliffs of the island, the Temple of Iortis' origins were clouded in myth. Inhabited by a splinter faction of the Temple of Killian, the priestesses who took up residence on the desolate isle believed their prayers would one day summon the ancient sea god from oblivion. Alright, let's go in. We cannot teleport here. Doesn't seem to be anything else, so let's go ahead and enter. Let's go ahead and talk. James motioned to the figure across the room. The woman nodded, then made her way across the wooden floor until she was standing before them. Bela.
Among you there are injured that need looking after. The ship should return here soon. I would advise you seek help as soon as possible.
But that's why we've come. The shipmaster in Sylvan said we could find a healer on this island who could help us.
You have been misinformed. I am not a priestess of Sung, and Iortis concerns himself solely with the denizens of his kingdom of the sea. He may act only on their behalf. Thus is his purpose as designed by the will of Ishap, the one above all.
When I was young, I was fortunate enough to have learned something about how all the temples worked. How the temples all worked. I thought I remembered that a god can sometimes be compelled outside his purpose in return for a duty of obeisance.
That is true, but Iortis is but a shadow of what he once was. Upon a time, before the Valheru warred with the gods of Midkemia, his influence was as the depth and breadth of the seas and all that moved across them. When at last he vanished, Killian assumed control of his realm, but here some essence of what he was still survives. We cannot communicate with a god that is lost.
But if we were to act on his behalf, do you think he would grant us favor?
I cannot know. If there were more than an essence of him in this place, perhaps we could commune with him and learn his thoughts. But we of the Order of Eortis are the servants of a vanished god. We see his will only in very small ways.
Perhaps you are here to serve that will. Perhaps we are here to serve that will. What can we do to help you?
I can see no harm in your request, but I can guarantee you no measure of success or failure in your efforts. I can depend only on what the omens may tell me. Perhaps Eortis will stir from his slumber to grant his favor. Until then, the Mist Devil will bring you no longer to this isle.
Could you at least give us an idea where to start? You may be able to read the god's will in the falling of a sparrow, but some of us are not half so clever.
Of late, we have had many tell us the Rusalki who sometimes linger near the rivers have become disturbed. If you may find them all and lay them to rest, it might serve your purposes. I will warn you, however, that many of these sisters of Eliam are wily and will find ways to hide their presence. Many do not wish to be sent into the halls of Lim's Kragma. You will need to be clever in finding them. This is my advice.
As they filed out of the inner sanctum, Bela suddenly dropped to her knees behind them. They rushed to her side, but she had already gained her feet as they reached her.
I am sorry, she said breathlessly. Eortis's touch is sometimes overwhelming. Though I cannot understand the meaning of it, something in you has aroused his interest, and he has smiled on you this day. Good luck to you.
The priest shook his head. I am only just now training to be a healer, he said, directing his gaze at the floor. Until I have learned more, you will need to have High Priestess Bela attend to any healing you require. Okay. They boarded the ship. Within minutes of weighing anchor, the Mist Devil sped across the narrow channel which separated the Isle of Eortis from the mainland. Let's go ahead and exit. Party's barding ability has increased. Oh, I forgot to mark some things. Oh well. And we are no longer plagued. Fantastic. All right. Your barding was only at 77 because you were injured. Whoops. That would probably be why I didn't get as much money. All right. Well, let's actually go ahead and use some healing powder. And we're going to rest. Get Owen healed up a bit. Alright, I'm going to go drop some things off in that chest again, just so that we have space to get another suit of armor. Then we need to look for these Rusalki. Apparently, Eortis would like us to do that, and he has healed us of our plague. So it seems only right to do that in return. But that will be in future episodes. See you next time, everyone.